All right, we are live again. Well, I'm back. Missed last Monday night, but we're back this Monday. Very, very simple. We're going to start it off with this. This live stream is brought to you by, of course, www.daddyduck365.com, where you can get all your Daddy Duck merch. Salt Creek custom ammo, True Lock choke tubes, and of course, Biscuit Built 3D. Let me tell y'all something, guys. I just spent 3 days in Arkansas. It wasn't the best hunt in the world, but the ducks we did shoot, I was using Salt Creek custom ammo, number 9s. I'm shooting a little 28 gauge, and with along with that True Lock choke tube, it was awesome. I'm using my ring light, y'all, so y'all have to bear with me. But it was an awesome that combination. And of course, I was using the Biscuit Built 3D tree strap. If you haven't seen it, man, go on my channel, take a look at it. I've done a couple of videos with it. That's an awesome strap. Mark, what's going on, brother? Glad you could make it, man. I hope you're feeling good today. Give me a second. I just got a text message. Where'd it go? Nope. Anyway, hope everybody's doing well. Got 6 already in the house. Hey, let's 7. Y'all come on up, say hello. Come on in the chat room. Just type it in there so I know who all's here. And, man, this has been a grind, guys. I will not be hunting any more of the regular season. We'll get into all that in a little bit, but I am taking my dad. He's a veteran, Marine veteran. I'm a Marine veteran. So I'll be taking him the last 2 days, or the 2 days of the veteran hunts. Jeff, what's going on, buddy? Glad you could make it in. I got some news. We got news. We got things that happened on this trip. I haven't quite gotten the video completed yet. Again, guys, I'm having issues with my ring light. It's dimming, and I think I got a haint up in here. But anywho, it looks like I'm gonna have to buy something else. Get another ring light. I don't know what's going on with this thing. But anyway, so got what, 5? So kind of get into the little bit of the Arkansas trip. Me and my son, Old Swamp Goose, we took off, left at about 11 o'clock in the evening, drove straight through. We left that early or we left that late at night, or early, whatever you want to call it. It was 11 o'clock in the evening. We left so we could get through Atlanta. And we were pulling a boat, and I just didn't want to be in all that traffic. We got through it, drove straight on, no issues whatsoever. Had a good time going. We laughed and joked and cut up and just had a really, really good time. Got to my good friend Bryce. Got to his house in El Dorado, Arkansas. We were planning on going to Max Prairie Wings that afternoon, but that drive took it out of both of us, and we just kind of crashed in Bryce's yard waiting for him to get there. My good friend Chris from OARC Outdoors, he showed up a couple hours later. We got to meet for the first time, got to meet Bryce for the first time. And physically, we've been knowing each other on social media, but we set up a game plan, and we started hunting. We hunted 2 days out of the 3, and a lot of problems. I wouldn't say problems, but Day one, we saw some ducks. We saw a lot of ducks, but there were other hunters that were in the area. We were in flooded timber. It was a walk-in spot. Do not ask me where it was. Even if I knew, I still wouldn't tell you. But we got there, and there was just a lot of hunters. And every time we started working ducks, somebody would shoot and flare them off. We did scratch out 4. You don't go to Arkansas to shoot a wood duck or a merganser, but we did shoot one of each and 2 mallards, a drake and a hen. That was it. Chris got sick. It's Friday night. If y'all ever meet Chris, whatever you do, if you don't want him around you, give him a mushroom. Mushrooms do not agree with him. So he did not hunt with us Saturday. But we went in, me, Josh, and Bryce went Saturday. Weather was against us, and we maybe saw 20, maybe if we're lucky, we saw 20 ducks. That was it. Jumped back in the truck, went and dropped the boats off. And then we took off to Max to Stuttgart, which is about 2.5 hours away. And on the trip up there, we were looking for ducks in the fields. We saw plenty of geese. Of course, though they're right off the road. And Bryce, being from that area, he didn't know any of the owners to call or what to see if we could hunt them. And we didn't have the goose decoys to hunt snows and blues or specks. So we just went on to Stuttgart, went into Max and shopped around and went over to the chain store and looked at their waders. I'm going to tell y'all something. Those chain waders are nice, buddy. I'm going to tell you, they are something awesome. I love them things. They're $1,100, but I'm telling you, if I had the money, I would have bought a pair. They are really nice. If you haven't got a pair of chains, you might want to look in. I love high and dry, and I think high and dry are the most comfortable wader I've ever worn until I put them chains on. I'm going to tell you straight up, that's how I felt about them. Anywho, left there, we went and got something to eat, but before we did, we just kind of looked in the sky just to see what was flying. If we saw any migrating birds. We didn't see anything. Went and got something to eat and got back to the house and crashed out. Got up at 3:45 in the morning and, hey, Charles, how's it going? We got in there and kind of like, what do y'all want to do? And you bought the scout boots by Gene. Okay. We just decided not to hunt. There just wasn't enough ducks. And so we just kind of hung out, and then finally we ended up packing up and leaving. We left Bryce's house about 11:30, give or take. And that's when the troubles began. I wasn't 30 minutes out, and I threw a belt. Luckily, I was in a parking lot getting gas. I was at a gas station. I was getting gas. Threw the belt. I called Bryce, like I say, about 30, 40 minutes. And I said, hey, can you come help me? I just need a ride to a store, pick up a new belt. He came, we got it, we put it on. And then we started driving to back home. And at first, I thought that, and I think everybody thought that, well, it may be the power steering pump that was going, but it was the original belt that I had on there. And when I had this motor redone, if the belts were, all the belts were good. I mean, there was nothing wrong with them, so you use them, right? I mean, that's just one of those things. And we got between Atlanta and Augusta, a little place called Madison, Georgia. And pow, another belt went. Well, again, I consider ourselves lucky because we were about a half a mile from the exit that we wanted to get off on to get some gas. So we pulled in and shut everything down. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning. And my son made a couple of phone calls, and he actually, one of his best friends, drove 3.5 hours, picked the boat up, all of our gear, picked him up, and got Bougie and put her in. They went home. I stayed with the truck. I was going to try to figure it out. Try to get this thing fixed. If it was a steering pump, then I would get a new one, and then I'd probably have to call somebody because I just didn't have the right tools to fix it. But I got another belt. A buddy of mine who I hadn't seen since high school, he shows up, and he lives about an hour and a half away. And like I said, I hadn't seen him since high school. Talked to him on the phone, text messages, and Facebook stuff, but I haven't really seen him in person. He shows up. We put a new belt on, and as I'm putting the belt on, get everything cranked up, get some gas, I noticed that my oil pressure wasn't coming up. And I figured, oh, Lord, have mercy, I done blowed a gasket in that short little time to drive up the ramp and make a left and go another 100 yards, less than 100 yards, and pull over. I ended up having to call a mechanic. And a couple hours later, we found out that the oil filter that was put on my truck on the engine rebuild, it had some paint that had flecked off of the engine and was in the seal, and it was not getting a good seal. I didn't lose much oil, but I lost enough so it wouldn't register. And so we cleaned it up, put a new filter on it, double checked the belts, put some oil in the truck. Off to home I go. I get my son's house. I pick up the boat, pick up my gear, pick up Bougie. I get home. And it was Monday at 8 o'clock at night when I got back home. And so I had been up since 3:45 on Sunday morning, and I didn't get home to 8. I just took everything out. Hey, Randy, how's it going? Took everything out, threw it in the garage. Everything out of the boat, everything out of the truck, put it in the garage, shut it down. Went inside. My wife had ordered some pizza. I ate a couple slices of pizza. I got in the shower, and I was asleep by 9 o'clock. So I'd been up, 41, 42, maybe 43 hours, something like that. And of course I had to work Tuesday morning. But that's how it did. That's how the trip went. They say, there's an old song that says, if you didn't have any good luck, you wouldn't have any luck at all. I believe it was on Hee Haw. But anyway, but regardless of all that, regardless of what happened, and by the way, I got a new power steering pump, put it on Saturday. That was, again, I needed some help with that. So I took it over to a friend's house. I bought all the stuff and we put it on. And it's running good now. As of right now, it's running good. So I missed Friday and Saturday as far as hunting goes. I didn't want to chance it. And I've got to work next Friday, which is the last day. The 31st is the last day of the regular season, so I won't be able to hunt that day. I'm going to be working that day. But regardless of what happened, we still had a good time. I mean, it was still I got to be with my son. I got to watch Bougie make her first Arkansas mallard retrieve. I got to watch her make the retrieve on the merganser as well. And it was still it was a learning experience for her, learning experience for me. I haven't been out there in a long time. Enjoyed it. Good friends, Bryce and Chris. Bryce was an excellent host. We were invited to come back next year, and we're gonna be doing that a lot next year, and hunting with Chris. So it was a good time, but also the friendships that you make throughout life. Life gets in our way sometimes, and we forget to call somebody. We don't make contact with somebody for a while, but they're still good friends. And I've always said, and I got some friends that if they ever call me, I don't care what time it is, I don't care where they are, I'm going to them. And that's what our friends did. That's what my son's friend did. He drove 3.5 hours to get to us, and then take him home, knowing good and well he had to work the next morning. My good friend Perry, we call him Bear, and we used to duck hunt and fish together back in the day, and we were in high school and whatnot. And he came to help me without hesitation. Where are you at? I mean, when he answered his phone, I had been texting him, and when he finally called me and said, "Where are you broke down? Still broke down?" "Yes." "Where are you at?" I told him. He says, "I'm an hour and a half away. I'll be there in a little bit." I mean, what do you do? I mean, these are really good friends. These are the kind of relationships you got to keep up with, man. And it was just heartfelt that I got still over the years I still got these friends who will drop whatever they're doing to come help me, and I would do the same for them. So that was the trip. Of course, I've been working every day and still cleaning up. My floor looks like a sporting goods store that exploded. I still haven't put everything up. Everything get dried out. But Jeff says the worst trip was an 8-hour drive, and we swamped the boat the first morning on a very cold day. Good Lord. I can't tell you how many times I've swamped the boat, man. I've done it. I know some of y'all others in here. Listen, this shows I got 9 people up in here. Man, come on and put a chat down. Tell me who you are. Say hello. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. But listen, if you're new in here, I know the guys that are in the chat are not new, but if you're new in here, do me a favor, say hello, tell me where you're at, hit that thumbs up button for me. Helps with the algorithm and all that kind of good stuff. Andrea, I didn't know you were here. How you doing? Glad you could make it. Guys, Andrea is she's mostly on TikTok and Instagram and stuff, but she also has a German wire hair. Her pup's name is Finn. And Andrea, I'm going to mess up the pronunciation but she's a draught. And she's been going to field trials and whatnot to get all of her credentials. She also lives in Arkansas, up in North Central. But and I didn't even think about it, and I apologize. I didn't even think about it. I should have given you a call or a text message or something that says I was there. Everyone does. It's a Deutsch Draughtar. So anyway, I probably even screwed that up. But yes, if y'all have Instagram or TikTok, try to find her because her dog does some crazy stuff. They with Bougie is to me is more of a bird, is more of a duck and dove dog for me. I am going to try this year to work her on birds as far as quail. See what she does. But Andrea's got her dog chasing rabbits and finding deer sheds and all kind of stuff. Y'all need to go watch her. If y'all got TikTok and Instagram, go there and go look at her. And when you comment, tell her I sent you. So next year, we're already planning the hunts for next year. We sat there Sunday and planned out, or trying to plan out, a conservation hunt for not this season, but for the next season. No issues, no worries. That's what we're going to try to do, is get a conservation snow goose hunt for next year. The more the merrier, I always say. So keep some things in mind. We're gonna be looking up some outfitters and that kind of thing. I know good and well that if you go on these things, if you're hunting 3 days, you better carry 4 cases of shells, because you'll shoot a case a day, and then there'll be one day where you're wishing you had more. So I got to come up with 4 cases of shells. But I've never bought 4 cases of shells in a year, being from South Carolina. But yeah, so we're planning that trip. Oklahoma, still wanting to get a lease out in Oklahoma. We're still working on that. Again, it won't be until late spring before we know for sure, possibly even September. So it's going to be kind of we got it or we don't. Order from Rogers, yeah. In the meantime, I'm planning on going back to Arkansas for the early teal season. Hunt with Bryce and Chris for that. Probably hunt 2 or 3 days and come home. That's a plan. And then hunting. If we don't get the Oklahoma stuff, I'll be going to Arkansas as much as I can. Be straight up with you. Hunting here local on some beaver ponds and whatnots, and going to Arkansas to hunt there. That is my plan. That is we're already making plans. Season's not even over, and I'm making plans for next year. That's why I'm Daddy Duck 365. Your hope might be a little high on 4 cases of shells. I don't know, dude. They were whacking. They whacked them last year on the conservation hunts, and there is no letting down that they're not going to be there this year. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Andrea says she's already planning trips too. So, yeah, that's everything in a nutshell. If you haven't heard, I know some of y'all I stay in contact kind of often, but I did get admitted into SCOPE, the South Carolina Outdoors Press Association. I got my email. I can't remember if it was right before I left to go or if it was while I was on my way to Arkansas, but I got it, and I'll be getting my membership packet soon. Probably about a month, I'll have my membership packet. In the meantime, just kind of a wait and see. They've got a lot of things that I'm really interested in, and a lot of conferences and workshops and that kind of stuff. Oh man, Randy, that's why I keep all my ammo right behind me. 20, 30 birds a day, 100 bird days are a few nowadays. I don't know, man. There's some guys out there they're whacking and stacking, man. we were watching. I actually talked to some guys, and they're not right now, not this time, but during the conservation time, they with all the electric collars that they use, and they're putting them down. So um, we'll see. We will see. Hey, it's not like even if I don't shoot at all, it's not like it's going to go bad. It'll be there for the next season. I'm hoping to, Randy. I was kind of hoping to do it this year, man. Um, I mean, the plans were I was going to be home. I mean, originally we were going to be home around 2:30 Monday morning, and and then I'd be hunting last weekend, just this past weekend, and I was going to give people a call and say, "Hey, let's go do something." And truck, I didn't want to take the chance. We had those snow days here, and I could have easily came in late. um, and I didn't not want to take the chance of breaking another belt somewhere down the road and having to be hauled in. So I just stayed home. Good friend of mine went up to a lake up the road here, and even with all the weather they had, what's up, Troy? Still didn't do very well. The birds are starting to show up now down here in South Carolina. So if you're from South Carolina and you're getting ready, you're thinking about hunting Friday, if you can hunt the last day of the season, you better jump on it because from what I'm hearing, the birds are here. They're here. What's coming is here. Now, how long they stay is a different story, but right now they are here. I don't live too far from several impoundments, and I woke up Sunday morning and them just blasting away. You could hear them, and that's the most shooting I've heard them do all year. So the birds are here. The birds are here. But getting back to scope, the South Carolina Outdoor Press Association, it's going to hopefully open some doors for me. Like I said, there's a lot of conferences and workshops to help us market our stuff to all this. There's a lot of writers in there, some videographers in there like myself, and up and coming guys and whatnot. So we learn from each other, learn from our mistakes, that kind of stuff. I'm headed over to well, not this week or not next week, because I've got the two veteran hunts on the one on the 1st of February and one on the 8th. And Lord willing, I'll be taking my dad on both of those. And but after that, we there's a kennel over in Holly Hill, South Carolina. Webfoot Retrievers, I believe, is the name of it. The guy's last name is, it's either Goodwin or Goblin. I can't always get it confused. But anyway, I'm going to head over there and talk to him about bougie. And, I have always said I am not a professional dog trainer. I never claimed to be one. But one of the things or two things that she's been doing here lately, and I can't seem to break her from it, and I've tried everything that I can think of. Number one, we're gonna have to force fetch her. I have never had to force fetch a dog, and the ones that I did, I had someone else do it because I don't have the temperament for it, to be honest with you. And not sure if I'm doing it right or wrong, but we're gonna have to force fetch her, and she's breaking at the gunshot. And you guys you're duck hunters, you hunt in a boat or even a stand by a tree or in a blind. You don't want that dog jumping the shot. You don't want it to happen. You just don't want that to happen. So we're going to, I'm going to try to get her over there, talk to him a little bit, see if we can work something out. And then after that, we're going to be heading over to Mark's place and doing a lot of training this spring and summer. Bought Bougie a new vest while I was at Max. And I'm going to do a video on this, I think. I've tried it before, Andrea, and it just, I don't have, man's got to know his limitations. Old Clint Eastwood saying. But got Bougie a new vest, and I'll be doing a video on that upcoming. I've got a bunch of stuff here. I just need to put it all together and get some videos and whatnot. But in the meantime, we're doing live streams. Got a couple other projects that I'm working on and new video ideas and kind of getting stuff, kind of get in line. A lot of stuff that you guys have asked for, more cooking videos. So I'm going to be working on that. Yeah, I know. I need to build a table. I've got a table out there. It's a little too high, but I do have a table that she can get on. It's just a tad bit too high. I'm a short fella, but we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna work on it. I would rather it be done by somebody who does it for a living. On that part, to be quite honest. But she's just dropping birds too short. And she won't pick them up right. I don't know what's gotten into her about that. She was handling doves and wood ducks with ease, with ease. But the mallards are giving her a fit. And I know she's big enough to do it. Not exactly sure what's going on with that, but she's jumping at the shot. There goes my light again. Guys, I'm telling you, I'm having a time with this ring light. But there we go with that. I got some stalkers up in here. I wish somebody would come up and let me know who's all in here. The bad thing about this live streaming is I have no idea who's in here. I know that I've got 12 people in here, but I don't know who they are unless they comment. So comment. Let me know you're in here. Let's see. What else? We've only been here 33 minutes, and I pretty much told you what I've done the past 2 weeks. I hope I'm still here. I just had a glitch in the system. Somebody type in there if y'all still see me or not. If I'm still here. Just had a little glitch in the system. Let's see. So how about you guys? Have y'all been shooting any ducks? Yep. Okay. Thanks, Jeff. Allow me to introduce. My name is Keith, and I'm a. Dang, Keith, you ain't got sense. God gave a goose. Yeah, man, I'm still. I read that so wrong it wasn't even funny. Anywho, Let's see. If y'all don't know Keith, there he goes. Anyway, there I go pushing buttons again. Y'all did in Idaho some decent hunts. Yeah, Keith was up in Idaho. They had some really good hunts. Oh, yes, I know I had pizza the other day, and yes, I've been kind of on and off the diet thing for a couple of weeks. I am back on it. But I was traveling and going places and all that kind of stuff. So we're back on it. But I weighed in 2 days ago, and so far it's a total of 41 pounds. So that was 2 days ago. So I'm happy about that. I had my deer steaks tonight, cooked pan fried in butter and a little seasoning, and man, they were cooked to perfection. Things were so good. I think next time I got some cube steak that deer cube steak that I'm gonna cook up for tomorrow night. I think I'm gonna make me a little carnivore Alfredo sauce to put on it, just to give it a little extra something. My name is Jeff, and I have a shooting Salt Creek Bismuth for 2 years now. There you go, Keith. There's a good advertisement for you. I'll send you a video and you can post it. Jeff, I'm sorry, but when I read that, all I could think of was that video. The guy goes, "My name is Maximus Aurelius, whatever," and he's all buffed out in his Greek gladiator stuff, and then the guy goes, "Hey, my name's Jeff." They killed a merganser Sunday. We hunted a lake off the river. We haven't hunted since last year. All the ducks were way too high. Gotcha. And Bougie comes in here just tearing up the world. You want to say hello? Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on up. Here. Come on. There we go. Those. I get that all the time. Yeah, there's Bougie doing her bougie thing. She needs a haircut, but we'll get that when the season's over with. Gave her a good brushing the other day. She was all knotted up, looked like a little Rastafarian. Now she just needs a little bit of hair trim. Finn is mad because she got put in a place while we're eating dinner. What? No. Well, no. As far as Arkansas is concerned, there are places that did have ducks when we were there, but the fact of the matter, the places we went, just they didn't have it, or it was too crowded with hunters. It just wasn't that. It wasn't what I was hoping for, but I still had a great time while I was there. Although I did have a truck breakdown, I still had a great time. All right, you want to get down now? You're getting heavy, girl. But no, we didn't shoot. We shot 4 ducks in 2 days. That was it. It was not as far as killing ducks, it was not a good time, but we still had um, we still had a good time regardless. It's hard for me to introduce myself without laughing anymore. Oh yeah, dude. We know a lot about trucks breaking down, broke down between Northeast and Northeast Kansas was a nightmare. Oh yeah. It was uh honestly the not main fly states were better this year. Yeah, no, I know North Carolina is starting to finally get birds in. I know that we here are starting to see birds. If y'all can go this week or get out there Friday on the last day, I'm telling you, you better get out there quick. The refuge here is they're actually saying they've got a big number of birds, mallards, teal, pintail widgeon, um, all over the refuge. So, my name is Jeff. um, so yeah, if you're gonna hunt around here, you better get going. Ducks are starting to show up in Arkansas right now. Um, Guys are telling me that I should have went last weekend. Um, got a guy up in northeast Arkansas. He called to make sure that I was home okay, and then after we talked for a few minutes, he said he had not hunted in almost 2 weeks because there just wasn't any ducks on his place, and he was driving by it Saturday, and I think they killed a 2 or 3 man limit, a full limit of 6. In just matters of minutes. He said his place was loaded, his fields were loaded up. So they are there now. They're there. Now whether they stay on private ground or they get under the timber, who knows? But the birds are making their way back. They're coming. Just like always, they always wait till the last week to show up. But I do think you're right. 678. Yeah, I know that Mississippi held a bunch of ducks this year. Even South Louisiana was seeing mallards from that storm that blew right across us while we were there. So Louisiana's loaded with woodies right now. They're loaded up with everything right now. They are loaded up. So hopefully this Saturday, I can get my dad on some wood ducks. So see what happens. But this will be an easy hunt for him. I mean, we literally are going to step out of the truck, put his chair down. He can sit down right then, 10 minutes before shooting time. And then I can just pull the truck up into the woods a little bit. And hopefully we can smack a woody or two. I'd be happy if he could shoot 2 or 3. I mean, get a limit of wood ducks if that's possible. I'm just hoping that the storm, this ice and stuff, the ice and snow that we got didn't run them out. Or hopefully they'll come back. You need to go out. Huh? You need to go out? No? All right. But that's it. Talked to Craig today up in North Carolina, and they're shooting bluebills and um, gadwall and just an assortment of ducks where he's at. Like I said, I just couldn't make it because of the truck and because of the money I had to spend on getting it fixed in Georgia with a mobile mechanic. Hoping that I got to make some money, so I'm gonna be working last day of the season, Friday. So, but there's always that Saturday. Papa Duck, that's right, Mark. Like I said, I hope I can get him a few birds. I'm pretty sure he's going to shoot that new Charles Daly side by side, that little 20 gauge he just got with a straight English grips. If I was him, needs the blood, and I'll probably shoot the 410. We're gonna get up right up under two big old trees that I know about, and won't even have to get our feet wet. So, oh man, y'all hang on a second. Hey, I'm on a live stream. All right, bye. I think a couple, yeah. There's some hanging out, man. Like I said, I got news from the refuge today, and they are the refuge is loading up with pintails, widgeon, mallards, teal. Georgia duck season been good, God good. Yeah, y'all should have got a bunch of ducks when that storm was coming through, pushing them from North Carolina from us to y'all. I'm hoping to, after about a year of being with the South Carolina Outdoor, I'm going to get into Georgia. All right. Oh, you got yours back today? That's awesome. All right. So a couple of days ago, I got an email. They said they were going to be on here. I don't know if they are or not. I'm hoping they are. But we're going to talk about this real quick. New hunters, and the question was about decoy placement. So I know you guys that are avid duck hunters and that you are, you know a lot about this stuff, but we do have new hunters come in and ask me questions and they want to hear about it. So as far as decoys, now we're going to be talking puddle ducks here. So your mallards, pintails, widgeon, teal, wood ducks, that sort of thing. Regardless, I'm going to play the wind. I want the wind to my back. Ducks, on very rare occasions, don't do this, but they always decoy into the wind. That slows them down. They hit, and that way if they sense danger, they can get up and they're with the wind and they can fly away. All they gotta do is if they're coming in, they sense danger, they just flip around and go. So they're always trying to decoy. Very seldom will you have ducks that decoy with the wind. Now, case in point, we had one mallard drake, even in Arkansas, came in the wrong way to the hole. He didn't come into the wind. He crossed it. And that was his demise, by the way. But always put your decoys where your back is to the wind. You can put your decoys in front. Now, depending on wind direction and sun direction. Now, the best thing to do is to have the wind to your back and the sun to your back. So that's an east wind. that's an easterly wind. Could be a northeast, east, southeast wind. We prefer north. I prefer northeast winds, especially here. But anyway, so you're going to put your decoys out front. Now, how many decoys do you use? Well, that all depends. I've used one decoy. I've used hundreds of decoys. I very seldom do what's known as a J hook, or a U. I'm more of I'm gonna place decoys strategic. You want to block ducks. You want them to stop at one point. You don't want them to go past that. So they're blockers. So I may have my decoys pushed off to the far left. I may have them pushed off to the far right, depending on how the hole is cut out, how they're going to come through the trees. And we're talking timber hunting. Open water. Open water is a little bit different. You may want to use your J hook patterns. You may want to use your U patterns. But the plan is to direct those ducks to land into the center where everybody can get shots at. I don't have a diagram here, but if you're like I'm in the hole, I'm shooting. I'm gonna have a pod, and the wind's coming like this. I'm gonna have a pod right there to block them from going any further. I want them to land right there right into that pocket. So I'm gonna put those decoys off to the left, and I may string them out and even closer to me. Again, that all depends. Are these seasoned birds? Are they stale birds? If you're hunting stale birds, you kind of want to place your decoys haphazard. I do most of mine haphazard anyway, but you don't want to have them bunched up. You want to kind of give them some space. Later in the year, you might want to start pairing decoys up, drake to hen, or 2 drakes to a hen, or 3 drakes to a hen. Like they're trying to pair up this time of year, so they're chasing. But always put you can't go wrong by putting the wind to your back. If you can, put the sun to your back, and get your decoys. And I'm, even in an open hole, I normally have my decoys within 20, 25 yards away from me. That means you got to blind up and don't move, because they're seeing decoys and then they're going to see you. But I always, my rule of thumb, how far away I place decoys is, if a duck is going to land, if you got your decoy set out at 30 yards, they're going to decoy 35. If you got them set at 20 yards, they're going to decoy about 20. If you got them set at 20, they're going to decoy at 25. So it all kind of depends on the wind and like I said, how fast the wind's blowing, how hard is it blowing, 5 or less, it really doesn't matter. They're going to come in regardless. They're going to come in any way they want to. But if you got a good strong wind, say 5 to 10 or even 10 or above, you're really going to want to make those blockers and get those blockers there. I've even put decoys upwind of me so that ducks, using them as blockers and natural lay down trees or whatever to keep them and make them dump into the center. Open water is a little bit different. Like I said, you can use your J patterns and your U patterns, kind of like what Jeff is saying. Run that J close to the bank. Run which is the hook closer to the bank, and you got your long arm going out to attract the duck. They'll follow. Most times they'll follow that line and come straight on into the hook. But that, like I said, that's an open water tactic, in my opinion. When I'm hunting open water, that's generally what I do. Um, Unless I'm making a reef or what I call um, a refuge spread where I've got everything that I have, every decoy I have, and I'm putting them out, and I'm running them up close to the bank and kind of making a U around the bank, and then I'm hunting upwind of it so that when they come in, again, depending on the wind, when they come in, they're going to land in that center, and that's going to be a crossing shot for me. Now, how I put decoys out as far as species with puddle ducks, I mix them. I don't put mallards with mallards or pintails with pintails or black ducks with black ducks. Um, the only thing that I'll put is a small pod would be teal, because generally they'll fly in and they'll hit and there'll be a bunch. And so I'm trying to simulate like some teal had just flown in, but I'll take the rest of my teal and just kind of scatter them around throughout the spread. I'm not one to segregate the species. I'm going to put them all together. So they'll be mixed up. Now my bigger decoys, if right now I'm running heydays, and my mallards and black ducks are the biggest, but I'll put those on the outside edge and fill in the gaps with widgeon, teal, more mallards, with pintails, that kind of stuff. I got you. What you're saying, Jeff. But that's how I set my spreads up. I hope whoever was wanting to know that question is listening and hearing. And a lot of this has to do with just experience. If you go through a couple flocks of birds and they're getting close, but they're just not finishing. There could be a lot of different things. It could be your decoy setup. It could be your calling setup. You're doing the wrong thing on the calls, or calling too much or not enough. Be prepared to move your spread. Spread it out. Bring it tighter. Take some decoys away. When I'm hunting out of the boat, which I mean, I put the boat somewhere and I'm hunting up next to a tree. I always have a piece of burlap that's kind of close to me, and if I gotta pull up decoys, I'll drag them up behind me and take that piece of burlap and throw it over them. Or, and I've done this in the past, I will move a lot of decoys into the woods and spread them out a little bit. And here in South Carolina, you can use pulsators, you can use spinning wings. I may take a spinning wing and put it in the woods along with some decoys. It'll be behind me or off to the side of me, but I'm making when the ducks are flying over, they'll see that spinning wing for just a second, and they'll see decoys, and they're in there having a good time. Hopefully they'll swing around, drop into the hole, and they'll want to swim out. So it's a lot of that has to do with experience and what your ducks are doing, how they're acting. And then there are days where it doesn't matter what you do. They don't want to be where you're at. So it's a frustrating thing. So like I said, I hope I answered the questions. If you can think of another questions, let me know. And, I'll be more my best to help you out. There's other guys that are in here who are just as experienced as I am. And there's some probably in here that know a lot more than I do. I don't know it all, but they'll tell you in the comments. I mean, like Jeff likes to use a 5 dice pattern for permanent snow goose spreads. I understand what he's talking about. Is if you look at a your throwing dice, And you look at the number 5, you get 1, 2, 3, 4 at the center 5, setting up that X pattern, so to speak. I've never done that with duck decoys, or and of course we don't hunt snow geese here, so never had to do it here. And no, this is not tea. This is flavored water. No calories, no sugar. But again, it's like I said, you got to be able to adapt, and things don't work in the first couple flocks. Start changing stuff up. Don't be afraid to do it. Well, I want to sit and just wait. No, don't be afraid. Get out there and get it done as quickly as can. You're going to have missed opportunities. I can tell you now, as far as spinning wing decoys go, I do have some. I have used them in the past. I will not put out a spinning wing if it's cloudy. I only do it when it's a sunshiny day. I do not have a pulsator. I want one. Anybody wants to gift me one, you can send it to me. I'll be more than happy to take it. I do want a pulsator. I got a little wobble duck. I just don't think it throws out enough. I probably need about 5 or 6 of them to make it worth my while. But I do have one. Then I got jerk strings, and I use the heck out of jerk strings. Are you back on your diet? Yes, Jeff, I am back on the diet. I've lost a total of 41 pounds so far. So I am back. Oh, don't get me wrong. Every now and then I'll get a craving for an apple pie and I'll run go get one. But you see the new Decoy Mojo coming out with what? Randy, I saw something, but I can't remember what it was. Mark J. Larson, what's going on, brother? I'm glad you could make it. Living him in. Glad you could make it. I saw you when you came in earlier, Daniel, and I just didn't, and I apologize. I was in the middle of talking, and that I do want to say welcome in. But yeah, for the new guys that are learning, it's kind of hard in our state to judge the ducks. So do the best you can. Do the best you can. Try putting women's knee-high stockings over your spinning wings on those cloudy days. Man, that is way too. I know they're light. I know, and you'd probably put them in a pocket, but I would forget I had them. I would definitely forget that I had those things. I use a lot of. I use jerk strings more than I use anything else. I saw that, Randy. I'll get to it. And or is that the Mojo thing? Hang on 1 second. Hang on 1 second. I have to get that out. And then I got to find that messenger. Oh, yeah, I did see this. Randy. That's pretty cool. It's kind of like that other decoy that just came out where the head turns inside the body. I forget what they call that. Chatter duck, I think, maybe. Same concept, so to speak, RD Reynolds, what's going on? Tell Noah I said hello. I use a jerk string most of the time, um, unless it's a windy day and the decoys are going to be moving. I'll use a jerk string. If I got wind and if I've got wind and the decoys are bobbing around and moving around, I don't use anything. I'll use like I said, I'll put a spinning wing in the boat to have, um, if it's going to be a sunny day. I'll run it. A lot of times, as far as spinning wings and stuff goes, spinning wings and little flicker flockers, I got those as well. If I'm hunting in the woods, I'll have some decoys in the water and right in front of me, and I'll spread them out, and then I'll take the spinning wing or the little flicker flockers, and I'll take them over into the woods, and I'll set them up strategically in there, 5 or 10 feet apart. And I will put a couple of decoys in there. That way, when the ducks are flying over, if they're not interested in the main spread, they may be interested in the secondary spread in the woods, and they'll might want to take a closer look. What side of the string is the jerk on? Well, that all depends, Jeff. That all depends on who the professional jerker is. That's where that depends at. If it's you could have a professional jerk man, that would be the jerker. That would be the jerk. You can have the guy that can't blow a duck call. That would be the jerk. Yeah. But like I said, it all depends on your setup, where you're at, what kind of terrain you're hunting, whether it's open, whether it's field. Open water. When I say open water, I'm talking about slash water on rice fields, open marshes. You're dying over there, so is my husband. Well, I'm glad y'all can have a good laugh over us. This whole thing with In the Blind in the live stream is just that. It's just duck hunters in a blind talking about what we normally talk about while we're in the blind. You could and cracking jokes on each other and having a good time. This is what this is about. There's I may come up one day with a something that I want to tell y'all about, and we get that over with, and then we just start chatting and about choking. She's choking a chicken. Oh, choking on my chicken. Okay. All right. And I misread that wrong. I mean, we got jerkers and choking on chicken. I mean, there's no telling what's going to get said in this place, man. I'm going to tell you straight up. If that didn't crack your husband up, I don't know what will. She's probably over there. She's probably over there laughing so hard she's snorting. Anyway. Yeah, so it all depends on your terrain. If you're hunting open water, I would go with a pattern, a J pattern or a U pattern. Diver hunting is a totally different animal, in my opinion. We're, like I said, talking puddle ducks here. But oh, he's dying. You got me. Oh goodness. Um, like I said, open water, I'd go with a pattern. Timber holes, I'm just scattering. Timber holes, I'm scattering. Um, like I said, how many decoys do you run at one time? Here's my theory on this. And I know ducks can't count. I know they can't count. I know it. I know they cannot count. But they've seen the same number of decoys in a hole since they left Canada. And it usually runs about two and a half dozen. Later in the season, I run less decoys. I may run 7 to 9. And you say, why 7 or 9? And for some odd reason, I have it in my head that an odd number is better than an even number. So I will run an odd number. I have left decoys in a boat because I had an even number of decoys. So it is just a weird thing that I do. I don't know if it makes a hill of beans to anything. I have no scientific proof on it. It's just my superstition. I run odd numbers, and no matter how big or how small, I run an odd number. So, well, you are off. Oh, I can tell you, I am RD. You know, a United States Marine, and I'm a duck hunter. So yeah, I'm way off, son. Um, I'm way odd, and I am way off. Yeah, I got it. Give me a purple crayon and leave me alone. But I don't know what it is, and it's just I always run on an odd number. I was hunting with a guy a couple 3 years ago. We were in the swamp, and he we were throwing the decoys out, and I said, "Whoa, don't throw that one." He goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "Don't throw it. Put it back in the boat." And he's like, "Why?" I said, "Because we have an even number of decoys. I can't have an even number. I got to have an odd number." And he couldn't understand why. And I said, "That's just a superstition I have. I have to throw an odd number." So, I mean, there's that on for me. I don't know how anybody else feels about that, but that's just the way I've always done it. Let's see here. How many? Like I said, late in the season, again, if I'm hunting in the timber or hunting a pressured area, I'm gonna go with just a few decoys. If I'm hunting a pressured area and it's open water, I may have more decoys, but I'm going to kind of spread them out a little bit more. Try to make a refuge of a bunch of relaxed ducks. Now, another thing I do is on my tie-off points from my weights to my decoys. Let's say I have 12 decoys, and just to make this simple, you got a dozen decoys. I'm going to have at least 4 to 5 of those are going to be turned backwards. I'm going to have the line attached to the back of the keel. I do that because if you ever watch ducks and they're all in a straight line, they're all looking the same way. If you ever watch, ducks on a city pond or anything, it means that there's danger. They're sensing danger, and they're all looking that way, and they're getting ready to take flight. Same thing, Jeff. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So I will take, like I said, 5 out of a dozen, and I will put them on what I say backwards. I just hook the line to the back of the keel. That way, they're facing different directions. Then, does that make sense? Yes, it does, because ducks, they sense danger, and if all their little friends down there that are decoys are all facing the same way, it's a danger sign to them. Yeah, Jeff. Well, I try to use more hens, and I'll tell you why. Because the darker colors show up better in a longer distance. Mark, they're all over online. Guys have gotten drone footage of ducks on the water. And I guarantee you, and we're talking mallards here, it doesn't matter to any puddle duck, but if you can find you a drone picture and they're looking down at a big flock of ducks, you will pick out the hens faster than you will pick out the drakes. And they're colorful. So you're going to pick out that dark blob. That's why I always put 5 black ducks in my spread. They're darker in color. That's why I'll put gadwall in my spread because they're darker in color. I'll put hens, mallard hen decoys. Even during the early teal season, it's a little bit different because they haven't got their bright colors yet, and you're going to want that darker color anyway. But put a few hens out without a drake, mix it up. Like I said, unless I'm trying to run a refuge, what I call a refuge spread, which is everything I got, I'll do that once or twice a year, depending on the flight and the migration. Especially if I know there's been a good migration in the area I'm going to, I'll try to put a refuge spread out to compete with other live ducks or to compete with other spreads because everybody's putting out 2 to 2.5 dozen decoys anyway, and I'll put out more. If I'm hunting open water like a lake system, I may put in some divers and mix them into the puddle duck spread. I've done that before with good results. But yeah, I try to go because they're trying to pair up. You're going to want, I wouldn't say more hens and drakes, but you want more that you would normally put out. How's that? That make sense? Later in the season, I always try to put 1 or 2 hens off by themselves on the edge of the spread without anything around them. And like Jeff, I'll put 2 hens with a drake, and then same token, I may put 2 drakes and a hen together, or have an actual pair. Because they are starting to pair up, and it all depends on where I'm hunting and the pressure and how many decoys I want to tote in that day. On a walk-in hunt, I'm carrying 7 to 9 decoys. I ain't going heavy. Especially in South Carolina, this the mud here is unbelievable. Now Arkansas is a little bit different, where it's a hard bottom. Flooded timber, man-controlled flooded timber usually has a hard bottom and a lot easier walking. Small pond, mainly the water and decoy can be seen a long way. Yep, using darker decoys. But like I said, there are times I'll have it in my head one day, and I'll take everything I got. Takes me 30 minutes to throw them out and 6 hours to pick them up, but I will do it on occasion. I will load it up just for the purity enjoyment of seeing all those decoys out there. But again, I'll do that like I said, on a migration day. I know it's a migration day. For example, it snowed here last week. And had I been able to hunt, I would have taken everything I had, because I knew that the ducks were going to be flying. I knew they were going to be all over the place. I know a guy who put out 1 Drake bluebill in his teal spread during the early duck season. Don't ask me why, but he said he worked. Interesting. Love the pintail with his white and black contrast. Yeah. Now I'll tell you what I have done as far as teal go during early teal season. I'll leave all my drakes home. And when I bought my teal, I did get the full blue wing teal pack with drakes and hens, but I'll leave all those drakes at home. And I also bought some what they call early season teal, which are all drab, dark, and I will put those out, and then I'll take about 5 mallard hens or a black duck because it does resemble a mottled duck, which we have. Or take a couple of gadwall because they're dark in color, and I will put them out with my teal decoys during early teal season, and it does work. Especially if you're in an area that has resident mallards in it to begin with. But the teal will see those bigger decoys from a longer distance, and as they get closer, then they see the teal decoys, then they get all happy, and they'll dump right in. I mean, I've even put some very old wood duck decoys that I have that are all faded and paint chipped off of them to throw in there just because we have a lot of wood ducks. Now, we can't hunt wood ducks during early teal season, but it doesn't mean you can't have their decoys. And it's worked with teal as well. If I'm hunting Stillwater, I put out a Mojo Rippler and 6 decoys. One of them, I have a motor on the bottom so it swims around. Gotcha. Yep, that'll work. I like the jerk string. That's my favorite. And it's really hard to film, run a jerk string, and work a dog and try to shoot and call all at the same time. That's a chore in itself. Try a Sherwood Drake with your teal decoy spread. When Heyday Decoys makes a shoveler, I'll probably get a handful of them. Filled with water. Oh my gosh. Let's see here. But yeah, that's my I mean, I know it's the last week of the duck season, but and honestly, I enjoy those kind of questions. Passing the knowledge on and what I do. It may not necessarily work where you're at. I think every region and every flyway has their certain ways of doing things, and it's just my way. It's how I've been doing it. It's worked for me in the past, and of course, not here lately because we just didn't have the ducks. But it is what it is. Match your what if y'all do any trout fishing, there's an old adage that says always match the hatch, and I agree with that to a certain extent. I don't use tip ups, the little tip up decoys. If you're in 8 inches of water or less, then sure, use the tip up decoys. If you're in deeper water, don't use tip ups. I mean, a duck can only reach down so far, and he's not going to be tipping up in 6 foot of water, or 4 foot of water, or even 3 foot of water. 8 to 12 inches is his max, depending on if it's a mallard. I mean, if it's a teal, he ain't going that far. Will they dive for food? Puddle ducks, sure they will, but they're generally they want to feed where their neck can reach. So be aware of that. And like I said, if you're hunting deeper water, don't use those tip ups. the that new Mojo deal that Randy was talking about. Y'all need to look it up. You might be able to get away with something like that, or one of those chatter ducks where the neck goes through the body of it. And basically, that's just it could resemble a duck either feeding or a duck just dipping his head in the water and getting water on his back and kind of like taking a bath. So. So that was you, not just a woman or a girl, but it was you. Okay. Oh, I can't tell you how many times I've had a water moccasin I didn't even know was in the tree until daylight. That or what we call sparkleberry bush monsters with those red wasps. Oh. They were still, yep. What else? What else? What else? Still got decoys on my mind. Decoy placement. Now, divers, totally different story, totally different book there. I run long lines, and I also have a decoy mat that I'll run where I'll make a big what they call a feeder pod. So I'll run the long lines out and to the feeder pod, and I'll have the feeder pod again. I say the wind's coming somewhat out of my back. I'll have that feeder pod behind where I want the ducks to land in front of it. So I'll run. Consider it like a modified J, where I'll run the lines out, because those divers, they'll follow that line all the way in till they get to that feeder pod, and then they'll dump. Mojo Dabbler, thank you. They will dump right in front of it. So it's kind of like a modified J, so to speak. But I'm not that big of a diver hunter to begin with. Although I do have diver decoys, and I have hunted them in the past. I'm not really big into it like some guys are. Now, with divers, I may mix up bluebills and redheads together. I may mix in some canvasbacks and some ringnecks and whatnot. But if I have bufflehead decoys, I will. They're in a separate. They're off by themselves. Buffleheads have a tendency of wanting to be by themselves. They'll decoy to anybody. They will decoy to other decoys. But if you got bufflehead decoys, set a little pod off to the side, because they would prefer to go to them. When they hit the water, they kind of gang up on each other. So I'm scared to run a long line with a dog. I'm always afraid my dog will get tangled up. Yeah, I've had the same problem. It's why when I run a long line, I have a drop line off of the main line, about a foot, and I've yet to have a dog get tangled up in the main line because of that. There's been very insightful. I need more knowledge of duck hunting. Now, if we can talk other hunting or crappie fishing, I can hang with the best. Gotcha, Andrea. Duck hunting is something I'm trying to learn all I can about. Well, hopefully you can learn it here. But it's experience and getting out there and going. And you're going to mess up. It's going to happen. Just learn from your mistakes and just keep pushing. That's all I can tell you. I mean, you got to get out there and go do it. Um, you can't, even though we have. Hey, Anti, what's going on, man? Appreciate you stopping by. Um, Even though we like to hunt with others, and you can learn a lot by actually hunting with other people, which is something cool. You still got to get out there. If you got the day and you can get out there, go and do it. Learn from your mistakes, find new places, you know, hunt wise, on X, all these things will show you everything you need to know about the area. And you're just gonna have to put feet on the ground and get in the truck, get there, put feet on the ground, find it, and learn it. And timber hunting, hunting the swamp or hunting green timber, which is to me is two different things. They all may look the same, but they are two different things because of the bottom. Swamps are generally muddy and a hard time. You got 3 feet of mud and a foot of water. Green timber is a hard bottom and a foot of water. So you just got to get out there and find it. You got to find those open holes, and the first thing you do is you pull out a compass and figure your north, south, east, and west, and look into the trees. And when you see those gaps, or that's where the ducks are going to come from, but are they going to come with the wind or come against the wind? And if the wind's not right for that hole, mark that hole as a west wind and not a north wind, and go find you another hole that will support your wind. You can have all the ducks in the world, but if your hole is set up wrong, it ain't gonna matter. Those gaps in the trees aren't there. It's not gonna matter. Local knowledge is best for that, but there are just times you just got to go out and find it yourself. Flooded timber is my favorite by far. It is definitely my favorite. It's just because usually open water, you're toting in a bunch of decoys, or especially on a there you go, Charles. Right, what I just said. You need longer droppers. You need long droppers off your decoys for long lines. I usually run about 12 foot. That's usually my drops. Oh my goodness, Anti! It was terrible. It was good and terrible all at the same time. It was good because I got to meet two guys, and face to face, and made friendships, and got invited to come back. It's bad because we didn't shoot hardly any ducks, and my truck broke down on the way home. So yeah, it was good and bad. Compass. I bet the young crowd would be lost in the swamp all season if they had to use one. Ain't that the truth, Jeff? Um, but yeah, bring out your compass, and they even got one on your phone now. So break it out, find your wind, find out where that wind direction is. Look at your weather prior. Is that wind going to change? Expected to change? I mean, because you could set up in a wrong hole for the early morning, but that wind's going to change, and that would be the perfect hole to be in. So I think they drop a pin nowadays. Yeah, I think that's the terminology they use. I I was wondering what you were trying to say. Oh my goodness. Oh, excuse me. Oh, yeah, I'm getting tired. It was a long day today. It was a busy day at work. My gosh. But Mondays usually are. Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays are usually our busiest. Gator break wind to the northeast. Just use that. But it was a good. I mean, it was it was a trip. Like I said, I threw some belts. Power steering unit went out. I got home late. Been up for like 41 hours. I was tired. I mean, I left Sunday morning and I didn't get home to Monday night. So it was a very tiring trip. But like I said, I made some good friends. And I'm going to be there next year. You know, I'm already working on getting it right. We'll hopefully do an early season hunt there and in Arkansas for the early teal. Hopefully I can do a 2 or 3 more trips to Arkansas. December hunt, November, December, and a January hunt. Well, come on in, Bougie. Just kick the door in while you're at it. You're a pain. You know that? You just come in here like you own the place. Come here. Well, come on. What? You looking at me all goofy-eyed. I'm not going in there. I'm going to stay right here and talk to people on this computer. You just got to deal with it. Look at me with them big old brown eyes. Okay? Well, when it first broke down, I was in Ruston, Louisiana, which is pretty good distance from you. And the second time I broke down, I was in Madison, Georgia. But you're right. I should have called. I forgot y'all were there, to be honest. And probably could have met y'all down in Stuttgart. And I don't think y'all too far from there. But we could have met in Stuttgart and went through Max and the Cheen store and went and got something to eat. Whoa. That is terrible. I will call next time. As a matter of fact, you're going to know that I'm on the way next time I go. What? Yeah, Bougie thinks she owns this place. You want to sit her down and have a talk? Yeah. Love the box. What are you talking about? Love the box. What are you talking about, RD? What box are you referring to? But yeah, next time I come, you're gonna know. We're gonna. Oh, OBX. How about get the letters right? Stop autocorrect. But yeah, next time, the next time I go, I got a buddy of mine up near Searcy, so I'm gonna be calling him. The next time I go, we're gonna be making phone calls, find out where ducks are. If we got to get on the road and travel, we're gonna travel. This that simple. Have boats, have guns, have dogs. We'll travel. I did find one place that I kind of really liked, and I want to go back and uh, kind of do maybe do a split where we break up into other little groups. Yes, I do know that. I just forgot. I honestly forgot that you were up there. It just. Like I said, next year, we'll be back up. We will definitely be back up there next year, and we let Bougie and Finn run the roads. We'll let them get out in the field and just have fun. Bougie likes meeting new friends. That's all she did was play, play, play. Nothing like being forgotten. Hey Jeff, it happens. All right, Charles, appreciate you coming in. Thanks so much, man. We'll see y'all next week. Well, of course, I know we'll talk on Messenger. There you go, Anti. That's right. Have boat, have guns, have dogs. We'll travel. I don't know about t-shirts anymore, man. I ain't selling any t-shirts, dude. We have not sold anything. And I'm not saying I'm gonna give it up, but I don't know what just fell. I'm not saying I'm gonna give it up, but I may have to take another route. I can't get people to buy them. I got people that message me all the time saying, "Man, those are great shirts. I'm going to get me some," and then I never see the order come in. I need to sell them. Yeah, you bought one. I know I've had a couple people buy them, and they're in here, but I'm talking about outside of this little group here. I know. I don't know what's going on with that, Jeff. Helps to have a site that works. It works. Every time I get on it, it works. I think it is. I think it's Google inclusive. So if you're not running something with Google on it, I don't think it's going to work. And I know that you've got anti-spyware and malware and all the other stuff and encrypted codes and all that stuff. So it just may not be working because of all that. I don't know. I don't know, but it always works for me. Always. I have yet not to be able to get on there, and everybody that I've personally talked to, I said, just go on the site and see if you can get on, and everybody can do it. I think it's just a handful of people that don't have. I don't know. It says it's not secure, but it is. The guy keeps telling me it is a secure site, and I don't know why it says that. I'm trying to get a hold of him, have another meeting with him. But I had this trip and, he closes down and at the same time I'm getting off of work and it's just been hard to get up together. But I've got another plan in mind. And if it works out, I'm going to do something a little bit will not comply that. I got another plan that I'm going to work out. I just may go buy a bunch of them myself and sell them out of the back of my truck. So, all right, Andrew. Yeah, we can do that later. a duck field. He's got a rice field. Now I say he lives in Searcy. He I've never been to his house. He just may live on the outside or in that area, because when we talk about it, and I said, are you close to Searcy? And he goes, yeah. So it just may be he's in that area. Oh. Yeah, we got another storm system I see that's coming. When you say rice, that tells me one or two places. Yep. We got another storm surge system coming in. I'm hoping it's going to bring some ducks later in the week, or for these veteran hunts. I'm definitely going. It's going to be a wood duck shoot. That's what it's going to be, and I'm not expecting anything more than that. That's all I'm expecting. Matter of fact, we're not even carrying decoys. We're just going to the pond, and they've been dumping in there and in the past, and so that's what we're going to do. Just have a good time. That's what I'm planning on doing. And is I'm gonna buy a bunch of shirts myself and take them to some shows and set up a booth. Actually, set up a booth and myself, but it'll be local shows. It'll just be ones that are around here. There's a big one. It's in March. I don't know if I'll be able to do it by that one, just because of the logistics of everything. But there's a couple of small ones. I got one in my hometown. It's just a kind of like a small business show, and they have different places people ride around and visit different farms. And I was going to take a couple tables and a tent and go out there and set up. And there's a show called the Somerton Duck Fest, and I'm going to get a table there, do the same thing. I don't know if I want to drive 13 hours to do a show. That's a 13-hour drive. But we're going to see come. The shirts are great. They are comfy and don't ride up. Thank you, buddy. I'm really considering getting this spring is getting an enclosed trailer, and then building some tables, and maybe I like a little duck blind kind of thing, a little display thing, and do it that way. And and then I'll have shirts into my truck, so if somebody sees me wearing one and they want to buy one, they can. Well, like I said, we'll see. But I got to wait. Like I said, I don't know if the big one, which is in March, just the logistics of everything, if I'm going to be able to get everything that I want to get completed. Buddy has one that says the only way to go. Yep. But get an enclosed trailer, build some little blinds and stuff, and build a blind that I can take apart and put back together kind of easy, and get some of them what I call Costco tables, little picnic tables, and set up the shirts on those, and get a little card reader kind of thing. And of course, I got to go and get LLC'd and get a business license to do that stuff. But the logistics part, I could put everything in the back of a pickup for the big one, but I'd prefer to get it and have it done sort of right, get some like a little clothes rack or something so you can hang shirts on, or little mannequin kind of deals so you can put shirts on them. And I won't do a lot, just enough to kind of give me an idea of what I need for future shows. But that's one of the things I'm thinking about. That's why I need to do an S corp so you can save on taxes. Okay. I have no idea what that is. I'm gonna have to look into that. But it's one of those things I'm gonna try. That's one of the things I'm gonna try this year. So we'll see what happens. But I gotta kind of wait until like March or April before I can find out, make sure that everything is going the way I want it to. So, and if I could ever figure out TikTok shop, I would do that, but I cannot figure that thing out to save my life. I'd love to be able to get my website on TikTok shop, but I honestly can't figure it out. So I need to get a teenager to show me how to do that stuff. Or somebody who is more into marketing than I am. Well, we'll have to talk about that, Andrea. You may have to send me an email with all that information. But like I said, it's going to be a couple of months before I can see how this is going to work before I do anything. There's a big show coming up next month, Valentine's Day, called Seaweed. It's a Southeastern Wildlife Expo. I don't think I would have the shirts ready or have the money to get a booth. My mom is a guru. She helped me. She's an accountant. I got you. But I gotta get all that kind of stuff figured out, and I need to get the shirts. And try to, like I said, I think that my biggest problem, we only got just about 6 minutes left, guys, but I think my biggest problem is going to be figuring out, I've got several designs. I got several designs out there, and I don't know if I want to get all of the designs done. So I may just pick out a couple. But then there's sizes, and how many of each size. The sizes on the website run from small to 5X. So I know I'm not going to sell that many smalls, and I know I'm not going to sell that many 5Xs. So how many of what size would you get the most of? Would it be, let's say I'm going to a show, and just hypothetically speaking, do you get 25 of each, 30 of each? and you're looking at small, medium, large, extra large, double X, 3X, 4X, 5X. That's 8 different sizes. How many of each do you get? We went from minus teens to 50s in a week. Talk about whiplash. Gotta love the Midwest weather. All right, RD, take care of yourself, buddy. Appreciate you coming in. So like what how many do you get of each? I think my little beagle has done run away. Well, guys, I think I'm going to call this a night. I can hear my wife calling for the beagle, and the beagle has not come yet. So I'm going to have to go outside and try to find the beagle. Anyway, so we're going to end this show tonight a little bit early, but we're going to end it. Again, this is brought to you by Salt Creek Custom Ammunition, True Lock Choke Tubes, and Biscuit Built 3D. We will talk to y'all next week. Anyway, y'all have a good one. Y'all take care of yourselves, and we will see y'all next time on Daddy Duck 365. Y'all have a great night.